In this video, we're going to provide you with some tips that will help you determine when you need to preview your project within a browser. There are some elements that you can use with your project that actually need to be previewed in the published file, because if you try to preview it within the Viewlet Authoring application, many elements will not work. For example, this project contains several of them. On this first slide, you'll notice we have a slide transition applied. We also have an interactive button as well as a pause zone. Our second slide is a question slide, and our last slide contains a slide element that will, when the slide unloads, will display the Carbon homepage. Now again, this is not all of the elements that require you to be previewed in a browser for them to work. These are just some of them. So if you go ahead and finish your project, go ahead and save it, then the next step might be to preview it within the authoring application. So we'll do that now and watch what happens. The Viewlet plays through, but all of these elements are not working as expected. So when this happens to you, don't worry. This just means that those particular elements require you to either publish out your Viewlet and preview it, or go ahead and use the option Project Preview in Browser to temporarily compile it to your temp folder and then launch it in the browser in order for it to play back as expected. You can also choose to use the shortcut keys Control+L to preview the results in a browser. So let's go ahead and do that now and see the difference. So here's our project temporarily compiled to our temp folder, played back in our browser, and as you notice, one of the elements, the pause zone, which didn't work as expected when we previewed this same project in our Viewlet Authoring application, now it's compiled and it works as expected. It paused on this slide. Our interactive button works. Our slide transition works as expected, as well as our question slide. We can now interact with it. Another slide transition, and then the last element that we could not preview when we were previewing it in the Viewlet Authoring application was having that on-unload action perform to load the Carbon homepage. It works as expected when we're previewing it in a browser. So to sum it all up, these are just some tips provided to you that when you're previewing your project in your Viewlet Authoring application and some of the elements don't work as expected, it may just mean that you need to temporarily preview it in a browser, as we showed you, or publish it out and preview it in order for all of the elements to work as expected. That's all there is to it. If you have any questions on any of Carbon's products and services, please visit us online at www.carbon.com. Happy Viewletting!